NIO stock was up 5.6% last week. It's down 2.5% on the month, but up a strong 42% in the last 12 weeks. So NIO stock is looking good right now. It is trending up, but in the last 3 weeks, it hit resistance at 771. It's fallen down slightly. It looks as if 2 weeks ago, it's found support at 632, and now in the next few weeks, it's looking like it's going to have another go at 771. So in this video, I'm going to conduct a price analysis for NIO stock, offer my thoughts on opinions on whether you should buy this stock. Let's take a look. I'd like to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/DavidB for the 5 best stocks to buy now. Use my special link to get $200 off their epic annual subscription. Now, if you find value in my analysis of NIO stock today or other stocks on my channel, you may also find value in my email newsletter. If you subscribe, I'll share with you professional trading tips to help you make more profits trading stocks. Link down below, check it out. So last week, NIO stock was up 5.67%, and we can see it formed an inside bar last week, suggesting there is investor indecision with this price. Now, the week before, it did get sold off and it did find support around 630. And then obviously the week before that was bearish, and the week before that, it did break through this key level of 771. It closed high, but selling pressure came into the market the week after. So overall, the last 4 to 6 weeks have been bullish for NIO. It has moved up to test its level. It does look as if now there is some selling pressure. It has been moving down the last few weeks, but based on this bar here, there is support around 630. Last week on the inside, and now it looks as if buyers come back in next week, we might be moving back up to test this level once again and then break through for higher prices. Moving over to the monthly chart to have a look at the big picture for NIO, we know this EV stock has been trending downwards for a number of years, since the all-time high of $66 back in January 2021. So it has been bearish for about 4 years, but within that long-term bear trend, there is a number of opportunities to trade this stock on the counter trend. So you can see since 2021, it was heavily sold off. It did find support around 1160. There were a couple of months up, found resistance here at 25 bucks, got sold off again into $8.30, eventually found support at around $7, and there was a couple of strong months up. So you can see over time, as it gets sold off, there is a counter trend back up, which attracts buyers, but it finds resistance once again and gets sold off. So we can see most recently, in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, it found support around 350, very strong month here, September 2024, only to find resistance at this key price level of 771, which is where NIO is right now. It's finding resistance at this key level of 771. At that time, got sold off, and then eventually, and most recently, NIO fell into this $3 low. And this trough does look as if it's the low for NIO in recent months. At $3, that's when buyers came back in, seeing great value for this EV company. And we can see since that low, price has been trending up overall in terms of the last 6 months. Zooming in on the monthly chart, we can see a big reversal bar during the month of April. There was some selling pressure in May and June before it formed a higher base, and then there was a big breakout during July 2025. It actually broke the trend line during that month, confirming the trend was changing and the prices were more likely to go up rather than continue down. So after July, very strong month, another strong month in August, and another strong month during September. So essentially 3 bullish months in a row. And NIO effectively moved up over 3 months from about $3.50 to around $7.61. So effectively, NIO did go up a tremendous amount during that time. So well done if you caught that move. Now, right now, we're in the month of October, and we can see clearly on the chart, so far this month, with about a week to go, it looks as if we're going to have a red bar for the month of October, a bearish bar. But that's to be expected based on 3 bullish months, and now perhaps NIO is taking a breather during October. And it also corresponds with this key level of 771. You can see here it met resistance during September. That's when basically the buying ran out, and then there's been more selling overall compared to buying during October. Of course, we've got a week left, so it could still move from here. But right now, looking at this month for October, it does look as if it's going to be a red bar. There is support here around 624, and right now it's going to close low, but maybe it might move back up and close halfway up, showing there was some buying towards the end of the month. So overall, we've got a monthly trend line break. It's moved up aggressively, and right now it's struggling to get through this level of 771. Now, back on the weekly chart, we can see that there is a number of counter trends with NIO's price action. It does do it a lot. So you can see the counter trend back up here, move from 7 up to 16 before it got sold off. And then again here, got sold off into about 360, counter trend back up to 771 before it got sold off again into $3. So right now, if you look at this price action on the weekly chart, which corresponds to the monthly, obviously, since April, NIO has been trending up. It's looking really strong, but it has hit this key level of 771. Now, you can argue this is, a counter trend to the overall bear trend, and this could be so strong that the selling pressure might take the price back down to 445, and that would correspond to the historical price action. It's unconfirmed yet. There are some signals to suggest it might not do that, but it's unconfirmed. So basically, we can see last week, or let's say 3 weeks ago, sellers had a good go here. It was a bearish week, got sold off and closed about 670. Now, if I zoom in a bit, you can see then 2 weeks ago, there was a bit more selling pressure. It ended up closing just above the close the week before. It did find support here at 630. So that's a good sign to show that NIO potentially is forming a higher base around 630. And we can see based on the way the trend has moved since April, if I use my trend arrow tool, since $3, it moved up to a resistance there. And when it got sold off, it found this higher base here, higher support around 333 before it moved back up again to form a new peak. There was some selling pressure once again, but sellers only could move it down towards 440 before the buyers came back in, and it had another leg up towards this peak here of 685. Couple of weeks of selling pressure. Again, sellers couldn't get it down past sort of 558 before the next 3 weeks were bullish. And most recently, we can see there was a break above 771 for a few days. It struggled to close for the week, clearly above that key level before selling pressure came in once again. And 2 weeks ago, it did get sold off. It looks as if there is support now about 630 right here. So we can see on the weekly chart, since April, NIO has been trending up. It's moving up, it's making these higher highs and higher lows after the peak. So each time it gets a little pullback, it's finding support at a higher base, showing overall there's buying interest and the price is likely to keep moving higher. So right now for NIO on the weekly chart, we can see this base here of 630 forming. Now, the most recent week just gone was an inside bar. Now, inside bars, as you probably know, they show indecision. There's no conviction from the buyers or the sellers to take the price above or below the previous week's parameters. So hopefully next week we're going to see who wants to take the price where. Is it going to be the buyers and push up higher, or are the sellers going to take control and potentially it's going to test 630 once again? Of course, we might get a few weeks where the price just tracks in between these two levels, between 630 and 771. That's possible as NIO potentially consolidates before the next move up. What we don't want to see is price break below this level here of 630, obviously if you're bullish on NIO. If you're bearish, then obviously you want to see it break that level if you're going to trade it short. But for the bulls among us who want to see this stock rise over the long term and realize its potential, we want to see price hold 630 over the next few weeks, find support, and then we want to break this level up here to get that confirmation that this is not a medium-term counter trend, it's the start of a long-term bullish uptrend. So we want to see that confirmation and price break and close above $7.80, $8. You can see it had to go back here 3 weeks ago. It did break through for a few days, but it couldn't close convincingly to show the buyers were in full control. If you're thinking about buying NIO stock for the long term, it might be wise to wait until you get that weekly close well above this key level. So something around, $8 to $8.20 would be confirmation that NIO is moving up, and these higher highs and higher lows are going to continue. And if you get in around about, $8, $8.20, there's plenty of upside towards this next level of resistance, about $16. Effectively, you can double your money with that movement up to $16. So you can see on screen on the weekly chart with the trade tool, there is an upside of 100% if you enter on confirmation around about $8.15, $8.20, and then hold the stock up to the target of $16. That's obviously one option over the medium term. But of course, if NIO keeps going up, if it does reach that profitability target by the end of Q4, expect this stock to break out and surge and new money come into the stock. It has been held back based on the fundamentals, but it's showing all the positive signs of moving towards profitability by Q4. So this one is worth watching right now and has a lot of potential long term. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you waiting for a break above 771? Or are you already in NIO right now? Or perhaps you bought on the trend line break? Or even perhaps you got in lower because you really believe in this company long term? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching.